Today I want to talk a little bit about Hamza, and there's a few reasons why I want to talk about the guy, and one of the reasons is that I used to subscribe to him and I used to watch him, I would say more actively about 2 years ago, and it's been a while since I stopped watching his content, and then a shorter while since I actually unsubscribed to him. And the reason why I stopped watching him is that I felt like I didn't need to watch his content anymore. There was nothing for me to learn from him. And frankly, I am not his target audience. I am too old to be his target audience. I am older than him and I am not in my teenage years or in my early 20s. I just want to say that Hamza helped me tremendously when I was struggling with my porn addiction, and he really showed me how you can speak openly and honestly about your problems. Any problem you have in life, you can be completely transparent on the internet about it, and it's actually something that it actually makes you stronger. If you speak openly online and other people who relate to your problems can look at you and see you talk openly about those problems, that makes you actually respected. And that is something he taught me by making his videos where he talked really in detail about how he used to watch pornography and jerk off multiple times a day and so on. And that eventually actually inspired me to make my channel too. I would say that the reason why I dared to make my channel and to start my channel is thanks to Hamza, because he showed that you can actually just really be open and transparent, and that actually is a good thing, and it's not something you should hide or be afraid of. So that is my relationship with Hamza's content and channel. But why I want to make a video about him right now is I have checked on him on and off on YouTube because he's a very curious character. He is a very interesting success story, building himself from the ground up, and many people in the self-improvement space know him, I assume. And so I have checked on him, and I was really curious to see how things are going because, the last I checked, he was moving into a remote location with his girlfriend, and he was preparing to become a father. And that was really fascinating to me. I was really looking forward to seeing that man become a father. And lo and behold, I checked him recently, and I noticed that he had been making videos about going on dates and stuff. And I was like, what the hell is going on? It looks like as if he's single again. And then recently he posted a video of lessons learned from his breakup. What I noticed on many of these videos was that the comments were very negative against him. And I saw the breakup video and I decided, now that I am in a relationship myself, which is not very long yet, it is an extremely satisfying relationship. I am extremely happy in this relationship, and I feel like I learned a lot in my 20s. I learned from my first relationship, which was almost 10 years ago. That relationship was 3.5 years long. Then I was single for 9 years, which is way too fucking long, but that was the case. And now I am in a relationship again, and this time it just feels like I have found a mature woman and I am a mature man. So that's why things work out, because we both have lived our lives and we have learned so much about life and about relationship and about ourselves. So that's why things are going well. But anyway, so I decided I will watch the breakup lessons video, and I'm actually gonna talk about the points Hamza makes there. I want to go through that video and I want to see what all this negativity is about, because I saw even reaction videos to Hamza. Somebody made a video like Hamza is clueless when it comes to relationships, and that video blew up. It has like almost 200,000 views, I think. So another reason for me to make a video about Hamza is that maybe I will actually get some views. And I want to be honest about that. I obviously want my channel to grow. I obviously want to get views and new subscribers. So that's why why not jump on this bandwagon? But I'm not gonna make this video about just negativity towards Hamza unless the video he has made about the breakup really utterly sucks. So anyway, this is already way too long of an intro. Let's get into it.
But the first lesson from this experience is to not become the goofy farting boyfriend. Basically, you meet your woman and you meet her at a time that you're almost acting like James Bond, like you're grinding, you're working hard on your mission, maybe you're traveling, maybe you've been training so hard, you've been leveling up in business, life's been going up, you barely even have time to see her, and you're polarizing her, you're staring into her eye, you go in for the kiss like a masculine guy and everything, and you let's be honest, you get her wet. She's obsessed over you. 6 months later, 1 year later, she goes into the toilet and there's some poo-poo right there in the toilet seat that you've left. She thinks it's a bit gross, but whatever. She, goes to the toilet, she comes back out, and you're there kind of like lying around waiting for her to come back, speaking in your high-pitched voice because you wanted to keep cuddling.
I want to jump into this one right here. I already sort of know what he means here. When I'm home with my girlfriend, I am very relaxed, and I do actually have a more high-pitched voice. That is where he's right. I have a more high-pitched voice than I do when I talk with my father. I talk at work in meetings. I have way lower voice when I talk in my meetings, or when I talk on YouTube. My voice is way lower than it is when I talk to my girlfriend. But the way he says you're just lying there, that is actually, these are interesting little details, but I do think it kind of matters how you carry yourself. So even though I'm very relaxed and my voice is more high pitched with my girlfriend, I do try to not be a lazy slob, even if I'm on the couch, I don't want to be completely, soft and boneless. Losing form on the couch. I always try to sit in a way where I have composure, if that makes any sense.
And she can't help but to lose attraction for you. Many women will say oh no, but I love those moments when we turn into friends. But the truth is, and you know this, you need to keep a polarized, mysterious relationship where you have that magical attraction between each other. People say that, yeah, it's completely normal to lose that in a relationship. But I think what's normal is not what I would recommend to you.
Oh yeah, and this one, how women want to be friends with you, right? When you're with a woman, my girlfriend has said this many times. And I always, if she makes any mention of how we are friends, I always said, no, we are not friends. She's not my friend. And this is something I said in the very beginning of our relationship. We just had started talking, and we talked about the next summer, because the summer was over when we met. And we talked about how there's going to be many things to do together. And she told me, please promise me to be my friend next summer, so we can do the things together. And I said, no, I won't promise that. And I can't promise that because I am not interested in friendships with attractive women, with women I find attractive. I told her straight up. And then always, the whole time when she's been talking about friendship or whatever, I always say, no, I don't believe that a husband and wife and a couple should be friends. I remember this from years and years ago. I have watched TV reality shows where American couples, they say that, oh, we are our best friend, each other's best friend. She's my best friend. To me, it's so weird for a man to say that my girlfriend or my wife is my best friend. That's really weird to me. My girlfriend will never be my best friend. My best friend is, I would say I have a couple of best friends, and they are both guys. All of them are guys. I shouldn't even say both, because but if I had to pick one best friend, it would be the one who I have known the longest, but still a man.
It is normal to get into a relationship and to basically become like goofy friends with each other, where you're not magnetically sexually attracted to each other anymore, but you still have sex, but it becomes more mechanical than it does enchanting. It becomes more about just like kind of fucking randomly, where you skip foreplay compared to like doing the whole ritual that you guys used to do. And she can't help but to lose that primal attraction in you. So many guys I speak to have this attitude that once they've got the girl, that's when they can relax.
And here I must say that I agree that it's a mindset. Like, if you think that it's normal to lose attraction, if you think it's normal, because I have talked about this a lot with my girlfriend. We see our friends who have been in relationship for a long time, and we see that they are not close anymore. They're not intimate anymore. They're not showing any attraction or connection around other people. Whereas when I'm with my girlfriend, even if we are with other people, we still show attraction towards each other. We actually, hug and cuddle and kiss when we have the chance. Whenever we have the chance, we're really close and intimate and attracted to each other. And we talk to each other like, let's not lose this. Let's make an effort to not lose this romantic connection we have.
And I have the same attitude as well, which I wish I didn't. But the lesson that I've learned is like, once you've gotten the girl, you'll realize that was the easy part. The hard part is now being in this long-term relationship and staying polarized, staying on your mission. Not just, still going to the gym or whatever. Obviously, that's like level 1 is like, keep doing the good habits. But it's how you present yourself to her. Are you starting to present yourself to your woman? Let's say if you get a girlfriend in the future. Could you imagine that after a few months, you start to kind of break down that cool, mysterious, like masculine vibe that you had into just kind of like, yep, this is me just in my passive kind of state, how I am next to my boys, I'm laughing, I'm giggling, I'm not trying to be sexy or anything. Because if you break that down, you're no longer the guy that she actually fell for, and she loves you, so obviously, she'll stay and she still really likes you and everything. But here's the brutal part. There's another guy out there who's still speaking to her like James Bond. She walks past the guy who's still been getting like his haircuts every week or every 2 weeks, and she can't help but to feel that sting, that shock of attraction that she used to have with you, but now in another guy. And you're like the good old faithful beta male who's just at home with his fat rolls, and you've gotten a little bit fatter, but it's fine because you've already got the girl, so you can bulk now, right?
So one more editor's note as I'm editing this behemoth of a video. I want to rephrase something I originally said here. So Hamza talks about how you have to be mysterious and you have to be James fucking Bond throughout your whole relationship to hold on to the attraction. And then he says that if you don't do that, your girl is gonna look at other guys who have that attitude, who carry themselves with mystery and masculinity. This to me reeks of insecurity. If you are if you have to carry yourself with this James Bond fictional fake masculinity all the time because you're afraid your girl is gonna look at other guys who act that way, then you either underestimate women and think that they're so fucking easy that they're just gonna thirst after anyone who walks past them who looks cool, or then you're insecure about yourself for whatever reason. But the fact of the matter is that in a long-term relationship, not only is it good for your own mental health to be able to let your guard down a little bit and to be able to take your armor off a little bit, not only that, women actually sexually desire you in a long-term relationship if they feel an emotional connection. And the only way to have emotional connection is to actually be honest and truthful and transparent with your woman. But here's what people get wrong. When we talk about vulnerability, people think vulnerability means weakness, but it doesn't mean weakness. It means you carry yourself with strength and pride and masculinity, but you still show your emotion. You lay bare your emotions to that girl. When you struggle through something, I believe you still should have those male friends that you can discuss things with, so that your girlfriend doesn't become your fucking therapist. So sure, you should keep a level of masculinity. You should keep your head high. You shouldn't become this clingy, needy wimp who is crying about his problems to his girlfriend. Like, I understand that. And also what he says here about, you know, being a beta male with fat rolls. Very much true. You should not be a skinny, fat, lazy slob who is just cuddling all the fucking time and that's all you do. You shouldn't run, you shouldn't get out of shape. You shouldn't. But the problem here is, it's not that you have to pick one. I am silly as fuck with my girlfriend, so I'm goofy. I am silly as hell. I'm cute and I'm silly, and my voice is more high-pitched with my girlfriend, and she freaking loves that. But here's the thing, I am not insecure about that side of myself, and that side does not take over my more masculine, more serious side. My girlfriend has seen me in meetings, in remote meetings, while she's been home and I've been home in a remote meeting. I talk with a very low voice compared to what I talk with her in a meeting at work. And she's told me that it's really attractive to see me. First of all, she sees me be serious, and she sees me talk with a voice that is lower. She thinks it's attractive. So yeah, so it's true that it's attractive to have that serious, low tone voice version of yourself. But why does Hamza talk about this as if you have to give up on that side in the vicinity of your girlfriend? Like, you can be with your girlfriend and still demonstrate that side of yourself to her. When you walk in public with her, you can hold your head up high and you can have a good posture and you can be in a good shape and you can be manly as fuck. And she's going to be so proud of you and she's going to find you attractive. But when you're home and you're relaxed and you're laughing and like, dude, this man supposedly read The Way of the Superior Man multiple times. The Way of the Superior Man tells you that with your girl, you should be relaxed and positive and you should make your girl laugh. Right? You can't be serious all the time if you want to do, like, you need to have a positive energy. You are the positive, you're the light in the relationship. The feminine is the darker side that also is a bit more negative. And this is a research thing, that women are more negative than men in general. So how the hell are you gonna be James Bond and then you're gonna, like, in The Way of the Superior Man book, he actually says that you should play like a freaking monkey or something to make your girlfriend laugh. You should be childlike to make her laugh. And that is exactly it. So here Hamza is right that you should not become a fat, lazy beta male. I have seen those couples. Last summer I saw one couple where the guy was getting really skinny fat and looked really awful through his t-shirt, but his woman was quite attractive, except that the woman was also getting fat. So they will probably get fat together and lose attraction towards each other, and who knows, things probably will fall apart more or less because they will not be having that magnetic attraction anymore. But anyway, this was a really fucking long insert as I'm editing this, and this is already fucking long, so let's get back into it. Thank you.
You're not putting in as much effort as you used to. You took her out for the first few times you guys met. You took her to like a nice place. You were romantic. You were really spending a lot of time thinking about how to polarize her, how to treat her so nicely. Like, you used to put in effort into the dates, and now you've stopped because the time you spend now is just kind of like hanging out. It's just like she comes over. Women might not tell you this to your face, but they want to be like wined and dined. They want you to take them out like you used to all the time. They want to go on like weekly or even like, twice weekly date nights where she gets to wear a dress and heels and you wear like a formal attire with shoes and a belt and pants. Women love that stuff. She might say to you like, oh no, I'm tired, I don't really care about it, I just like spending time with you. Yeah, of course. She's not lying. She likes spending time with you, but they love like getting ready for something. They love like, like looking amazing and taking pictures with you. And most importantly, a woman who is in love with you, she just feels really loved when she can see that you've put in a lot of effort into yourself and into your time together.
This stuff basically he's talking about is something I heard from Jordan Peterson a long time ago, and I do think it's true. A marriage and a long-term relationship, they are not just something you take for granted, and they're not something that just magically work out. You need to actually take care of your relationship. You do need, and you should do your best to always remember that the relationship is something to keep alive. And because, at the end of the day, it's kind of like if you get into shape, you get jacked. Like in my case, I ran the marathon last year. Now I want to run a marathon this year as well. And in order to be able to do that, I have to keep running. I can't stop running. I can't stop lifting weights because I want to be able to lift weights and run as I always have. I want to stay in shape. And it's the same thing with a relationship. You need to keep your relationship in shape. Those dates are a really good tool to do that.
My mistake is that once I got deep into this relationship, I stopped putting in that level of effort. It stopped being about date nights and just about like us kind of, spending time together. And it's not fair to do that to the girl because she was attracted to you when you were like this mysterious guy who's taking her out. Like the first time I met my girl was in a villa in Thailand when I invited her over there. She was traveling with her brother. I was traveling with my video editor. I invite her over to like this amazing cafe. Then we come to my villa. We're swimming in the pool and it's literally my flight is in like 5 hours. So it's romantic because I don't have enough time to stay here. So it's kind of like that sort of the love that gets away thing. The second date that we went on, she flows back to UK and then we went on a 1 week road trip. The second time we've ever seen each other, where we drive through Scotland, we're sleeping in the car, going to cafes and just like living life. How adventurous was that compared to the moments when we're just kind of living together and I'm just this fucking goofy guy who's making high-pitched like noises and like laughing next to her the same way that I would with my male friends.
So here's a couple of things I want to comment on. First of all, it's fascinating to me that he does those things with his male friends, because when I'm with my male friends, I want to be competitive. I want to be on the same level. Like I don't want to let my guard down. I want to have my peak masculinity presented with the boys, because it's male. When you are with the boys, you want to be strong, right? You don't want to be weak with your boys. So that's fascinating to me that he does that. But the other thing I wanted to address here is he's talking about the adventure and romance and stuff in here, and it's just interesting to me that how the hell are you supposed to apply that first, when you first meet and everything is special and magical and mysterious, how the hell are you supposed to apply that to a long-term relationship? And the answer is you're not. This is applicable to short-term relationships, but when we talk about long-term relationships, it's a different game. And you have to figure out, like he said, he was correct about, yes, you should have the date nights. And you should have adventures. You should have fun. But a long-term relationship cannot be the same. You can't maintain the beginning of the relationship exactly the same. But that doesn't mean you can't maintain the romance and the passion and the attraction in the relationship for long term. That it doesn't mean that. But it's just the relationship will evolve. And especially, dude, if you're gonna start a family, dude, you're gonna give up on many things for years and years to come. So I just want to mention that because Hamza was preparing to be a father. So how does he expect to be a father and still have adventure. Well, yeah, maybe when your children are like 10 years old and they can join you on a trip. But before that, like you have to sacrifice those adventures for a while and then figure out how somebody could take care of your kids while you go out on a weekend with your girl. And, you try to do everything to keep things up, but you have to understand you cannot assume that your relationship long term is gonna be all the time the same as it was in the beginning. It's just stupid to try to imagine that is somehow possible to do.
The truth is, if you're putting in less effort into the relationship, most likely you're also putting in less effort into your fitness and business and everything. How you do one thing is how you do another thing. You know that to be the truth. We like to believe like, oh, I'm too busy for my relationship. Bullshit. How you do one thing is how you do another thing. When you're grinding hard on your fitness, your relationship improves. When your relationship improves, your business improves. It's not like this thing where, oh, I really care about business, so my relationship's gonna suffer right now. Fuck, that is not how it works at all, and we all know this.
Yeah, I heard this one from Andy Frisella. When I listened to Andy Frisella a lot, I think like 2 years ago or something. I should get back to it. I'm gonna buy headphones soon to listen to stuff while I run, because I'm training for the marathon again. So maybe I will start listening to Andy again. But yeah, Andy said exactly that same thing. I've heard it before, that how you do one thing, you do everything. I think there's, value in thinking that way for sure.
And I wrote, you know what? I want to move to like a big city. I want to be around like businessmen. I want to really make friends. Like me and her hadn't had friends for months. We had been traveling around, not staying in one place. And when we were doing this, we were in the middle of like nowhere in Scotland. No one our age was there at all. So it was just me and her in like a cabin in the middle of the woods in Scotland for months. And I thought that that's like such a wholesome life. I even made videos about it saying, this is my dream life. I'm in the middle of nowhere. It very quickly turned quite toxic. Not like because of our behaviors towards each other, but just because like men and women are supposed to have fucking friends. And so we didn't have friends. I didn't have friends. She didn't have friends.
Yeah, so it's not a good move to move somewhere where you don't know anyone, generally speaking, I would say. Or, maybe if but what he just said, there was no one his age there. So that is pretty difficult for sure. Like, maybe if you immediately started a family, or you already had family, like your children, I mean, because your family can be your community if you have many children. So maybe if you have many children, it's doable to move into the middle of nowhere where no one is your age and still like actually live life because you have your own community. But humans are sort of tribal. Like, we've always had tribes of some sort. So if you don't have anyone except you and your girlfriend, then that is, I think, by default, that is gonna turn into something a bit toxic.
I wrote on my document of what, my dream life would be right now. And I said I wanted to move to like the middle of a city, and I wanted a vibrant friends. And I'll tell you the truth, because this isn't going to sound cool at all, and you might judge me for this. I tell you the exact truth I wrote down. I said, you know what? I actually want to have a few like sleepless nights. I want to have a few like sleep deprived nights where I stay up late. Bro, for the last few years I've went to sleep at 7-8 p.m. You couldn't imagine the amount of like parties and social events and dinners that I've missed so that I could like grind and be on monk mode. And so I realized in a weird way it was actually more comfortable and complacent for me to actually stay on my monk mode routine, because it's easy for me. It's comfortable for me to basically be around no one other than my girl and just fucking work 12 hours a day. I've done that for the last few years. It wasn't challenging me anymore. And it's awkward because I announced to everyone, I'm in Scotland, guys, and here I am in the middle of nowhere and I'm on monk mode and there's no one around me, haha. But I realized like that's not actually pushing me to my edge anymore. I don't need more hours of me on my laptop just like going to sleep at fucking 7-8 p.m. and waking up super early. I need more time next to people where I'm challenged, where I have to learn like how to be super social again.
This to me sounds a little bit interesting. So wanting to stay up late and have parties and dinners and whatnot, that sounds like normal people's lives and normal people's wishes and cravings, right? Like, that's what normal people want occasionally. And to me, this sounds like he moved to the into the middle of nowhere. And it was hard on him because he was missing social events and parties and stuff like people usually do. Like you do want to, like that's what I do. And I'm open about it on my channel. You know, I made a video about how I'm gonna go drink alcohol, and then I had a hangover day, and I made a video about the hangover day because I do drink alcohol. Like, not this weekend, but the next weekend again, I'm gonna drink alcohol. I'm gonna have 2 of my very good friends come over, and we are gonna drink whiskey and beer, and we are gonna watch some amazing music concerts on my TV and my really fucking good speakers. And we're gonna play a board game and what, like, I'm gonna have fun with my friends, and I'm gonna drink alcohol occasionally because that's what normal people want. But the way Hamza puts it here is like, oh yes, it was so easy for me to be in the middle of nowhere that I wanted to challenge myself. When in reality, this sounds to me like it was actually challenging to him to be in the middle of nowhere, and it was driving him crazy because he's a fucking human being and he wants to socialize and have fun like a normal human being. So like, I feel like he's trying to cover up his humanity, basically. Like he's trying to be like, oh yeah, it was so easy for me to be in the middle of nowhere. Really? Are you sure that it wasn't so difficult for you to be in the middle of nowhere that you wanted to get the fuck out of there because you wanted to do something else because it was too hard on you? Yeah, and that's like, sure, like if you miss people and if you are, I don't know how much of an introvert Hamza has been, how much of an ambivert or extrovert, whatever. But yeah, sounds normal to me, like human behavior. You want to socialize, but there's nothing like, you don't have to make everything a challenge. Like, oh, I want to be challenged by socializing. Like, no, it's humans are social, dude.
Where I have to learn like how to handshake people properly, where I get to meet someone who's also got, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and me and him are discussing like how to increase our, you know, view count or whatever. Those are like inspiring conversations, and I wasn't having them. So I wrote down all of this, that I wanted to, you know, be connected to other people. I wanted to live in a city. I wanted to take a bunch of trips. I wanted to be super social. I wanted to have some late nights where we stay up and we're social and there's a party that we go to and everything.
This one makes sense to me. I can imagine if I became really fucking big on YouTube, I would love to find people who are also big on YouTube and talk about the similar things with them. Like, this makes complete sense that that's what he wants to do.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to say a bad word about my girl. I really can't, about my ex. But she saw it, and I'm not gonna lie, like I could see how like offended she was, where she was quite like pressuring. She was like, wait, you want to do this? Oh, you want to do that? You want to stay up late, but that's unhealthy. And I understood, you know, it is fair enough. What I'm saying is like, oh yeah, like I kind of want to be a little bit more sleep deprived. And she just couldn't really see that this was like me just being authentic, that this was the life I wanted to live. So there was quite a lot of like judgment from her. And when I saw that judgment, I thought, yeah, like maybe we're not actually compatible for the next season. Because for hers, she wrote that she wanted to do more of the things that we were currently doing. She wanted to get more into the sort of wild, detached away from people. Whilst that sounds, it's wholesome as fuck, and you know that she's an awesome girl for that. She doesn't want to be around like, you know, like party girls and whatever. I just realized like we're actually going into 2 separate seasons right now.
But yeah, like, again, isn't this just like normal young guy behavior? You're not ready for marriage. You're not ready for family. Why don't you just say that you just weren't ready? You were not ready for a marriage and family because you're young and you want things humans tend to want. But yeah, I don't know, man. You know, seems a little bit like coping to me. And one thing I thought about when I was listening to this earlier as well was that I sort of get the avoidant attachment style vibe from Hamza in this video. Because it kind of feels like he's, you know, for sure he's not ready for commitment. He's not ready for marriage. He's not ready for children. He's just not ready for commitment, right? But did he get scared of being close to a woman? Because that's what the avoidant types do, right? You get too close to a woman and then you detach because you get scared by being too close to a woman. So I'm not sure, but it just gives me a little bit of the avoidant attachment style vibes, to be honest. Because, you know, it kind of sounds like the classic, I guess we're just not right for each other. Like suddenly you have all these plans and all these things, and then you suddenly come up with like, yeah, I guess we're not right for each other. We're not meant for each other because you change your mind. Like in this case, obviously the girl knows herself, right? She really knows who she is. And by the way, as I say all these things, I'm not judging Hamza because look, man, dude, he's like what, 26 or 27. I barely know myself now. I'm 30. When I was 26 or 27, I was so fucking lost. I was like way more lost than Hamza. So I'm not judging him too harshly here, but I just want to give my opinion what I think might be going on with him here.
And so I didn't want to live with each other anymore, and she was offended by that. I wrote that as the truth. Like, I actually wanted to either get my own place or live with guys. And again, that was something that she judged quite negatively. And I'm not saying this is she's a bad person. It's just that hurt her and broke her heart. Because you can imagine to a girl, you saying like, oh yeah, I don't want to live with you. I want to live with like my friends, or I want to live alone. Especially if you're currently living together. It's a moment of hurt for her. And we just realized how incompatible we were.
Yeah, so I can imagine that for a woman, it must be one of the worst fucking things ever when a man like breaks his integrity. Because if you tell a girl all these things, you want to move into the middle of nowhere and live a life together and live together, all these things, and then you just come out of nowhere and say, oh, I don't want to live with you. I don't know I think it's not even the fact that you are not gonna live together, but rather the fact that as a man, you did not stay true. Like you have no idea who you are as a man, because suddenly you're doing something completely different. So you did not know who you are. So I think the girl is gonna be disappointed in you as a man, in your masculinity, basically.
I could have flipped around. I could have lied. I could have just not being authentic. Truthfully, it hurts. There's pain in reading negative comments. There's pain in realizing you and your girl are not as compatible as you think you are. But I don't think that man is supposed to avoid pain, because with the pain of reading all these comments, I ended up reading one from a guy who didn't write it in a disrespectful way, but he gave me the idea. He said, Hamza, you should just make a video about lessons from this breakup, because that way you can turn your pain into a gift for us, like a gift of education. And I read that comment, it was randomly, like it wasn't very high liked, but it was just random there. And I thought, that's a fucking brilliant idea. There's pain, in heartbreak and splitting up. There's pain in announcing that you've split up to the internet of people who know your story and your private details. But I can turn that into a gift. And so another lesson that I want to give you from this breakup, even though it came from more about talking about the breakup than the actual breakup itself, is that when you're going through pain as a man, turn that into fuel.
Yeah, for sure. And like if you are making self-improvement content, then I guess, it really makes sense that you make a video of what you learned, because that's what it is. Like, let's be honest. People go through breakups. Most people experience breakups. So it's important it is really good to give your thoughts on that subject, for sure. I had this really fucking stupid, naive online experience with a girl who lived on the other side of the world, and I will probably make a video about it eventually, because it's important I want to make videos about online dating anyway, and how fucking stupid it is to develop feelings for someone online. But I did go into that trap because I was an idiot. But anyway, I turned that into fuel. The pain I experienced when things fell apart with that girl. I was taking cold plunges every fucking morning, and I was training harder than ever. I was hitting PRs at the gym. Like, I was going all out because of that breakup. Breakup wasn't even a real fucking relationship, but it really hurt, because I created this fantasy, this like really massive dream and fantasy for myself about that girl. So that's why it hurt, even though it wasn't a real relationship. It wasn't real because it was online. It still hurt me like fucking mad, because I had this dream and the dream got shattered. So anyway, I did turn that into fuel, and I completely 100% agree that you should try to turn these things into fuel.
I said this to her. We spoke once after we split up. You know, she went back home, I went back home. We didn't really speak. And we spoke once, and I told her, like, I hope this doesn't hurt you, but I just want to tell you the truth. I knew she'd be kind of happy for me. And I said, you know what? Since I came back home and we've not been together, I've actually had a spring in my step. I've actually like really, really been happy. Like genuinely, like honestly, this is the happiest I've been in my life so far. Or honestly, like this is the most fulfilled right now of my entire life. And I said this to her, and, you know, I could see like a spike of pain inside of her. Like it's not, you know, so nice to hear that someone you used to be with is happier without you. But she's a lovely girl, and I saw her kind of relax into it, and she was like, I'm so happy that you're happy. And, you know, she like somewhat feels the same way. She misses me dearly, but she also feels like it was for the best anyway. And we both have been nothing but respectful. It wasn't like there was not a single argument. We hugged each other goodbye and everything. It's been nothing but like respectful. And so I told her the truth. Like, this is the happiest I've been in my life. I actually really feel aligned to me.
I read a comment about this, and in the comments somebody said like that's really fucking hurtful to say to your girl. And I agree. Like he could have kept that to himself. Why do you have to tell a woman that, oh yeah, the times we had together, the special fucking time we had together, all those moments, they did not make me as happy as now being without you makes me? Like, that is really, like, I just think that's unnecessary, to be honest. Why the fuck do you have to tell her that?
And my life just got so much better because I realized, like, when you're in a relationship, if you're kind of like me, you'll kind of merge both of your lives together and make decisions based on this mutual interest, which is probably the good thing to do in a relationship. But then you lose like a lot of these decisions that you could have made, which would actually make your life even better than if you were in that relationship. So there's sacrifices that you can have in a relationship. Oh, you know, you really care about her. She needs a house that's like this, but you wanted a house that's like that. Let's compromise and give her what she wants. That's what most guys do, right? The compromise is basically like doing what she wants and getting the thing that she wants. That's what most relationships are like. And it just means that the man starts to grow this subtle sense of being miserable because you don't get to and enjoy the things that you want, because you almost have to like get your girl the thing that she wants. You know, she wants to stay in this kind of place. She wants to live this kind of life. She wants to go to the gym at this time. As disciplined as you can be in a deep long-term relationship, especially when you start living with each other, you start just kind of like compromising and you know, oh, she's not ready yet, so we'll go at 7:30. And when I came back, and it was only me, you know what I mean? I only live like for me now. It meant that I could go to the gym exactly when I want, which meant that I had this extra level of like power through the day, which felt so nice. So if there's another lesson I can give you, is stay aligned to yourself. Even in the relationship, see yourself as an individual. That's a common sense lesson for most people. But if you're anything like me, maybe because of childhood trauma, you merge your life with your girl so much that you lose that individuality.
This is what I did in my first relationship, you know, all those years ago, in the 3.5 year long relationship. I had no idea about anything. So, you know, this is pretty common stuff for young people to go through. You shouldn't align everything to your girl. Like, you can live together with a girl and you can be together and get married and everything, and you don't need to align everything to the girl, or you shouldn't rather. And I, for example, I have my house in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. Well, middle of nowhere, it only takes 1.5 hours to drive to my girlfriend and only 1 hour to the freaking capital of Finland. So it's not in the middle of nowhere, but it is the countryside. And I just, you know, I got my home gym here finally and everything. And like, I bought this place alone, and now I have the home gym, and my girlfriend was here recently and I went to the gym without her, and then I went running alone. And both of those things took over an hour. And like, that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't do everything together at the same time. You should live your own lives for sure.
I get a lot of criticism online. You know, I change my opinions about shit all the time. Like, that's the biggest criticism I get, and I understand that. It must piss you off watching my videos and being like, fuck's sake, this dickhead's like, he's saying again something completely different. I was following like the old protocol and he said, live life like this. Now he's completely changed his mind and I have to like fucking catch up with that. I understand that's going to piss you off, but one of the things I'll tell you is like, I can only just tell you what's going on in my brain right now. That's all I can promise you, is like, I will just tell you the lessons that I'm currently going through and what I'm currently thinking about life. And I never want to like lie to you. Like, I've tried to be as honest as possible.
Yeah, this one, you know, the thing is, we grow and we change. Growth means change, usually. And if you get pissed at Hamza for changing and you following his old protocol, then that is ultimately on you. Because, you know, like I said, I followed Hamza until I noticed he has nothing to offer to me anymore. I never idolized Hamza. I never put him on a pedestal above me. Never, ever. I remember I watched one of his videos back in the day where he said in the camera something like, "You're a beta male compared to me," or something like that. I was so fucking pissed. I was like, if I was in the same space with him, I would have wrestled him. Like, challenged him to a fucking wrestle. Which, I would probably lose because he's done more martial arts than I have. But still, like, I never accepted the idea that he's above me. And that's so important. So if somebody is like pissed off about Hamza changing his mind, then that is their own fault for following him so strictly. Although I guess you can make the argument that his target audience is really young men, like teenage boys to early 20s. And when you take the responsibility of being an influencer, then, well, there's the responsibility. But once again, like, we think we are right until we see that we were not right. Like, you can't, the 25-year-old me, for example, would have said something like, as my opinion, and now I would completely disagree with the 25-year-old version of myself. So it is tricky, and I wouldn't blame him too much for changing as a person. One more thing I want to say about Hamza is that I do respect the man, even though you could argue that he is sort of taking advantage of young men by charging them shitloads of money for his Adonis school. Because young men are, the younger you are, the more vulnerable you are. So you could say that, why doesn't he just have some kind of Patreon or something where it would actually, you could support him as much as you want, but still get value. Now it's like, pay tons of money to get value. I don't know, man. But, he wants to make money, and I don't know. I will never be making anything similar. Even if I blow up on YouTube, I would never make an Adonis school for sure. I will probably just make a Patreon, to be honest. And that's it. But the one criticism I have about Hamza is the way he speaks these days. And, he just seemed to have, I hope his ego doesn't get the best of him, because he seems a bit too cocky at times. But the thing that annoys me is that the way he talks about other people, he calls others dickheads all the time. So I just don't like it when you talk about other people and you talk about them as dickheads or creeps or whatever. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of truth in this video, but at the same time, I agree with some of the comments that say things like he wanted to go back to being, a party guy and whatever. And someone said, like, how the fuck will you remain mysterious to your wife of 10 years? And it's like, yeah, you have to, like, look, dude, if you want long-term relationship advice, then read things like read the Models book by Mark Manson, for fuck's sake. Read about vulnerability, because fuck, man, if you want to be with your girlfriend for 40 years, like, I want to be with my current girlfriend until the day I die. Let's just be honest, that's what I want. Now, is that gonna become reality? Who fucking knows? Something might happen. I haven't been together with her so long that I would know our compatibility perfectly. So who the fuck knows? But I want that. And in order to do that, she has to know everything about me, and I have to know everything about her. And I have to accept everything about her. I have to choose to accept the parts of her that are not perfect. Obviously, if there's something toxic, I call her out. I've told her at least a couple of times in our relationship, straight up, I've told her, I think this behavior you are showing right now is toxic. And she has been sad about me saying that, but it's been the truth. And then she's been like, okay, I will fix this. I will improve this part of my behavior because it's toxic. And like, that's the way a long-term relationship works. You actually have to be vulnerable. Like, I don't care what people say online about, like, you see those experiences. People are saying, oh yeah, I was vulnerable with my girl and then she left me. Well, fuck man, she was not a good woman. She was not a good person. But you have to be able to put your armor off when you're with your girl. That's just the truth. If you want to start a family, you want to be together forever, you will eventually know each other through and through. Yep, so anyway, I will make more relationship related videos in the future. For example, my parents have been together for 40 something years, and I think going through how I see them and their relationship and what I can learn from that and what we can all learn from, you know, older generation people who have been together for a long time. I will make videos like that in the future on the channel. So if you're interested in that, then stay tuned and subscribe. But other than that, I think this is it, because it's already really fucking long. This video is the longest video I ever made. If you watched all of this, then thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Now, have an amazing day, and bye bye.